Well, I might just be riding high off a uniform release that I'm over the moon excited about. But I think the Denver Broncos had an incredible day. They signed two really crucial free agents that I think really are very low risk, high reward, boom or bust potential for us as we move into the NFL draft. We got draft on Thursday. So much to break down in this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan. I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Moved out to Michigan during COVID because of just how expensive it was to live in Colorado. I missed talking Broncos with all of my friends in Colorado. And so now here I've started this YouTube channel and just love the community, love being with y'all. So if you like that kind of content, love if you would like and subscribe. Make sure you join us for the live draft to figure out who the Broncos are going to take at 12 or earlier or later. What's going to happen? Who knows? But let's break down the big news of the day. And that big news of the day is that the Denver Broncos are having another quarterback named Wilson. So hang on to your Russell Wilson jerseys because you might just, if he plays in number 3, you might be able to wear it again. So I think this is a great move for just a number of reasons. We were able to get Zack Wilson, who is probably who Kyle Shanahan thought he was going to be able to get by trading up to the 3. All the talks were that is like who he wanted and who he thought he was going to have at quarterback. And so the fact that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch signed off on him shows that he does have the potential. He was talked about just as a generational talent. We know that he beat us here this year in Denver. He beat us. He's definitely shown flashes. If you look at his best games, like he has multiple games where he threw for almost 400 yards against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, 317 yards against Dan Campbell. So like this guy can fill up the stat sheet. You just look at those number 300 yard plus passing games and it's right in line with what Russell Wilson did here in Denver. I think Russell Wilson had 4 games where he threw over 300 yards with us, and one of them was that blowout against Miami when we were just literally throwing the ball all second half to try to stay in it. So I think this is a really, really smart move for the Broncos, not because I necessarily think that he could be redeemed, but we picked him up for pennies on the dollar. This is part of the reason I don't want to trade up for the second or third or fourth round draft pick, or second or third or fourth best quarterback in this draft. We know that they only have a 36% hit rate, that in this draft that had all of these generational talents with Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Zack Wilson. Only one of them is still with his team, and he is drastically underperformed. And I would say Trevor Lawrence isn't a generational talent like people said he was. And you look at his pre-draft rankings when they were kind of evaluating coming out of the draft, he had boom or bust potential, but no one was saying bust. Like I want to use that archive.org and see did they edit this? Because I don't remember anyone talking about the potential bust factor of Zack Wilson. I remember watching his pro day and him just hucking it deep, rolling out to the left. And the Denver Broncos were able to get the second overall pick in that draft for pennies on the dollar. They gave the New York Jets a 6th round draft pick, and the Jets gave us back a 7th round draft pick. So essentially, we give up one of those 6s that we got from the Jerry Jeudy to Cleveland trade. So we still have a 6th round draft pick, and now we're able to pick up a 7th. We've seen how George Payton hits late there. Jonathan Cooper, who we saw rocking our new uniforms today. We saw him get a 2023 performance-based pay incentive because he's been balling out of control. So we didn't have to give up much whatsoever. And now I'm just curious to see, if Sean Payton is the quarterback guru, the quarterback whisperer that everyone says, you essentially do have a guy who I think could have some Drew Brees-like potential in Zack Wilson. I also think Zack Wilson I think he actually might be a few months younger than Penix and Bo Nix. And so you have a guy who's actually played in the NFL, who knows what it takes, whose body has made it through seasons without injuries, who's had a chance to bulk up and play against grown men. And I think there is less of a risk in playing him than there is in playing a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix. At least you know where he is at. And I think this is a very low risk, high reward. And we're at the point where let's make low risks that have a massive, massive payout. Like this is like buying Bitcoin when it was first coming up on the scene. Like you don't want to buy it at the top, you're buying it at the bottom. And I think this is absolutely fantastic. I'm curious to hear what y'all think about this pickup. Are you with me? Like, you think this is a good pickup? The other big news of the day is I did a video on this last week that we met with Levi Wallace last week, and now indeed we have signed him. We are talking about the Denver Broncos have added just a ton of players who have long careers in the NFL, and they're not 9 out of 10s, but they're 6.5 or 7 out of 10s, and you never go broke when you're making a profit. And so now with Pat Surtain on one side, with McMillian stepping into that slot corner position and just being one of the better slot corners in the league, we're at a place where if Riley Moss can just learn and be the player we thought we drafted last year at number 3, we are in a fantastic spot. I think the signing of Levi Wallace shows that the Denver Broncos will not be drafting a corner at 12, or even if we trade back, I do not envision us picking a corner early. I think this is a signal that, hey, our corner room is locked down and we're good there. It's time to start building out this offense and making it the explosive offense that Sean Payton wants. I wonder what all of y'all think about, does the Zack Wilson signing say anything to you about what the Broncos might do on Thursday night? You could easily argue that we didn't draft a quarterback because we'd signed Teddy Bridgewater, or when we got Case Keenum, as Elway called him, or Case Keenum. I do not think that the signing of Zack Wilson will prevent us whatsoever from drafting a quarterback even at 12, or if JJ is our guy, moving up and trying to get him even earlier. But what I think this does is it kind of is like Sean Payton is out fishing, and now he's got 2 rods that he can cast out and put in the water. And let's say Zack Wilson has a 25% chance of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. You can maybe say he's got a 10% chance. I think the Jets, we've watched them. We saw what Nathaniel Hackett does to an offense here. Saleh is not a developer of the quarterback position. That's not his forte. So if anyone can get production out of Zack Wilson, it's going to be Sean Payton. But I think what he's also going to do is he's going to double down, and he's going to try to get a quarterback in this draft. And now he's got 2 puncher's chances at this, that maybe he does a flyer on Bo Nix, who's a 36% chance. And now you're talking that you got 2 guys who don't have a great chance, but when you compare that, or you have 2 rods in the water, you have a much better chance at catching a fish. And I just think this is absolutely fantastic news for the Broncos, a very high ceiling, low floor signing there. And I do think the Levi Wallace pairing with Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, McMillian, I think that is going to be very, very good for a lot of years to come. So curious what all y'all think. If you didn't have a chance to check it out, my son and I break down the Broncos uniforms. He got a chance to see him for the first time. We do a little live reaction with him. I cannot wait to catch you all here Thursday night. We have a really fun live draft planned for you all, and it's just been a blast riding with you. So we will catch you next time in Broncos Country. Let's giddy up. Man, even underhand, those ceilings are so high.